Hey guys, what's up? LTA Sportscast here. I'm your co-host Trey.
I'm your co-host Logan.
Today, as a new tradition, as of starting episode 3, our last episode, we will be starting to do Bible verses. Our Bible verse of the day today is going to be Romans 15, verse 13. May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace as you trust in him, so that you may overflow with hope by the power of the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
Amen. So today we will be talking about some of big NFL just news that's kind of just been going on. Probably one of the biggest things that we've had going on recently is Patrick Mahomes coming with that ACL tear, season-ending injury, and Kansas City officially being eliminated from the playoff for the first time, and I think since
2014, I believe.
Yeah, it's been over a decade since Kansas City hasn't been in the playoffs. This is insane, to say the least. Sure, a lot of us didn't want Kansas City in the playoffs, but I don't think we wanted it to go this way. Obviously, we may not love Patrick Mahomes, but we're not just going to wish something as severe as this upon any player.
Right, and prayers for Patrick Mahomes. Honestly, he's really not that bad of a guy. He kind of just gets thrown into the mix because of the people, his family, things like that. He gets thrown into the mix. But, prayers up for him, definitely, and hopefully he come back. Like he said, I don't think any of us, except for Chiefs fan, really wanted them in the playoffs. But at least I and Trey did not want this to happen this way.
Big thing too is after this season, Travis Kelce he's considering this could be his last season. He's in that kind of retirement consideration at this time. He's been in the league for a while. He's been producing for a long time, and I wouldn't want him to retire in this way, in this fashion, on a season where they get eliminated, from playoff contention. But, if he doesn't want to play anymore, he doesn't want to play anymore. And if he chooses to retire, that's his decision, and fully support his decision no matter what. The thing is, too, what's so crazy about this is even ACL tear aside, with Kansas City being out of contention, right? Patrick Mahomes was having one of his better seasons this year. One of his, he's in his prime. And he's just, the talent that he was surrounded with this season wasn't great. A lot of guys that he needed to be stepping up and making plays, while guys like Rashee Rice were out, just weren't stepping up and making those plays on the offensive end. Defense was having struggles. This just wasn't the Kansas City team that we were used to seeing this season. And for them to end it off with Patrick Mahomes getting an ACL tear is definitely not where you want that to go. Bouncing off of ACL tears as well, another big one, Micah Parsons got his ACL was torn as well, season ending. Do I say this is a shocker? No. Micah Parsons has not played a fully healthy season in his career. But this could spell disaster. This will spell disaster for Green Bay, because their next game, they got to play a Chicago team that they won. A big factor of it was Micah Parsons just wreaking havoc. Even if he wasn't statistically getting all the tackles and sacks, it's his presence that really can affect an offense, because now he's drawing double teams, which then leads to the other guys having one-on-ones, giving them more opportunities to get to the ball faster. So having him gone means that there's much less of a focus on a guy like Mike Parsons to throw double teams at, so it'll be harder for that pass rush to get through. This could very well spell disaster for the Green Bay season. There's a good chance that they don't make the playoffs now, because alongside of Micah Parsons, Josh Jacobs is now questionable, their starting running back, and Christian Watson is, I believe he was ruled out for this week, who is their wide receiver 1. They're in a tricky situation, and especially going up against a team like Chicago in the NFC, as it is. They went from I believe, the number 2 seed all the way down to the 7th seed after that game. Chicago and Green Bay essentially flip-flopped because that's just how strong the NFC is right now. It's going to be really hard for Green Bay to stay in contention with missing key guys like that.
Yeah, not a great situation there for Green Bay at all. Also, prayers up for Micah Parsons, and hopefully he can bounce back. And I'm just glad he's not in Dallas anymore. But yeah, Parsons being out for the season and for the playoffs if they make it is going to be huge for Green Bay, and that's a recipe for disaster, like Trey was saying, and not looking great at all for Green Bay.
We'll see what happens because Jacobs can play. There's a possibility he is able to play in this game against Chicago. If he is ruled healthy for this game against Chicago, that's a big win for Green Bay because he's been very good this season. He's a strong runner. Can run through tackles real easy. He's also fast. You get him out in the open field. He's a fast guy. And he's been pretty good for Green Bay in his tenure there. So that's just a very key guy that they want to have in the lineup at all times. So pivoting off of that, we're going to move back over to the AFC because last week we got to see old Phillip Rivers, 44-year-old Phillip Rivers, play his first NFL game in 5 years. 18 for 27, 120 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. How?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like some crazy statistical game that he just had, but the fact that Indianapolis was able to go toe-to-toe with one of the best teams in the NFL in the Seattle Seahawks with Phillip Rivers as quarterback is insane to me. Rivers, he played a very solid game for not playing for 5 years. I will say that deep ball was not very good. That arm is not what it used to be, obviously. Yeah. But he played a solid game. It was kind of shocking, to be honest with you. I didn't expect him to still have some of that in him after 5 years out of the league. Just crazy. We did not expect him. I didn't even expect him to throw a touchdown pass, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't really think I did either. Phillip Rivers coming in here and just doing his thing. Obviously, he's not 2000s Phillip Rivers, but great guy, honestly, to get some knowledge from. If nothing else, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, he's going to be a good clubhouse presence even if he's not going to be performing
absolutely
at his absolute best. He's been in the playoffs before. I don't really think the Colts make the playoffs this year, but if they do, he's been there. So
he's been there, but the main issue was Rivers was not winning in the playoffs. He never did. He had guys like Brady, Manning, all those guys like that he had to go up against, and his playoff performance was never great. He was a regular season guy, to be frank. And then also with Indianapolis, Anthony Richardson is finally back in practicing for the first time in I think 2 or 3 months after he had that injury. During practice, he got hit in the eye with a stretch band, which fractured his eye socket or something. I don't really know. I can't remember the full specifics, but he was of what happened to his eye. But he has been able to participate in practices. So there's no guarantee. I don't know if Phillip Rivers is starting in the next game. But if he is, cool. We might be able to see him do it again. Have another decent game. But that first game wasn't bad. Definitely impressed with the ability that he still has. I mean, yeah. And then pivoting off of that, Jacoby Myers was signed to a 3-year, $60 million extension with the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is amazing for the Jags. Jacoby Myers, after he got sent to Jacksonville from the Las Vegas Raiders, has been that kind of breath of fresh air that Jacksonville needed on that offensive side of the ball.
100%. Yeah.
Jacoby Myers has always been a good receiver, even back to his New England days. But that was back, in the Mac Jones. They were having their quarterback issues over there in New England, and Jacoby Myers was still showing up and having good seasons, and there was like a lot of potential that you could see in him. Now he goes to the Raiders, and he has, he has his moments. He's able when he has the ball in his hands, he makes plays. Now he's in Jacksonville, a team that's leading their division and is primed to make some sort of playoff run. This is a guy that you want. This is a receiver that you want, a guy that will go out there and make plays for you and do exactly what you need him to do. I think this is an amazing extension by the Jacksonville Jaguars. Very smart. Again, this is a team that I didn't expect to have this kind of jump this season.
Yeah, no, not at all. Great move. I would give it an A+. Definitely, this is a really good move by Jacksonville, and I mean he's just been really good with them. But I mean we'll see how he does in the playoffs.
Absolutely.
But, I mean it's looking pretty good, and the future's bright in Jacksonville.
Absolutely. I mean Travis Hunter's out there. No, he's not out there anymore. But I mean Trevor Lawrence, Travis Hunter, Jacoby Myers, like that's a good setup, and then Travis Etienne. In the running back position, I mean, they've got a good core of young guys that could really make this offense like one of the best in the league. It's just a matter of putting 2 and 2 together, and it seems that they're really starting to get there. It's good to see Jacksonville doing well because they were in the struggle bus for a while there. Good to see Jacksonville having a little bit of fun out there.
Yeah, moving on to the next Florida team. Not so great offense over there in Miami. Tua just got benched.
Quinn Ewers will be starting in the game against Cincinnati this week. Wow.
I mean, they weren't going to make the playoffs.
No, but I mean, Tua Tagovailoa, or as some people know him, Tua turn the ball over. He has had the most up and down career I have seen so far.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, that year they had a game where they beat Denver 70-20. Remember that?
Yeah, I do. I do remember that.
What happened to that team? The team that Skylar Thompson came in the playoffs and almost beats the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo while it's snowing. This team has completely collapsed on itself. Now, a big reason, too, they've lost over the last, 2 years. They've lost a lot of key defensive guys, so their defense is not nearly as good as what it was. Christian Wilkins on the defensive line is no longer there. There was another lineman that I can't remember his name, a couple linebackers, corners. They lost so many key guys. Their defense is now nowhere near what it is. Their big key guy now is Jordan Brooks, who I believe leads the league in tackles, either 1 or 2. And that's about it on the defensive end. And offensively, Tyreek Hill out for the season. All they got is Jalen Waddle, really. And he's been okay this season. Devon Achane has been great. He's top 5 in rushing yards this season so far. But that pass game has been absolutely atrocious, and Tua is not what we've seen, and a lot of that comes down to past season with all the concussion issues. It's been interesting watching him just have such an interesting career path with the Dolphins, just so up and down.
It will be interesting to see how Miami moves on from here on forward, because I think maybe they're seeing Tua's maybe not the guy. I don't know. Maybe they try somebody else.
They
try to go in the draft and find somebody there, because they do have a lot of offensive talent, but Tua just can't get the job done. So maybe they might capitalize and find somebody that does get the job done, but who knows?
I mean, there's probably a couple teams that would maybe want Tua. I mean, Pittsburgh maybe would want Tua, and Miami could maybe get something out of that. But I doubt they're going to get much for Tua as of right now. His value is tanked after being benched for Quinn Ewers.
Yeah, probably just a lower draft pick.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate. I never really thought Tua was the guy, to be honest with you. I never thought that he was... He reminds me, kind of an interesting comparison, of like a Jimmy Garoppolo kind of guy. You plug him into a system, he does what you need to do, and he can win games for you. But when it matters the most, he's just not there. He's not able to make the plays you need to. And it's unfortunate. Because, I mean, when he was drafted right before Justin Herbert was drafted. Chargers got Justin Herbert right after the Dolphins drafted Tua Tagovailoa, which means the Dolphins passed up the opportunity to have Justin Herbert, and I definitely think that we would maybe having a different conversation about the Dolphins over the last couple of years if they had Herbert over Tagovailoa.
I agree. Now, speaking of maybe moving people, our last episode we talked about Joe Burrow maybe being moved, and it seems like that's probably not going to be the case. New reports come out talking about how Burrow may not want to be moved.
Yeah, he was talking about he doesn't see a future where he's not playing with the Cincinnati Bengals. I think he very much wants to stay. I think he knows that he's a good fit in Cincinnati. It just very much seemed a week ago that he really didn't want to be there. And I think that he's not really having the best time there. And I think a lot of that comes down to coaching. I think the front office has to get Zach Taylor out of there. He took them to the Super Bowl one time, and they haven't done anything since. I think they need a new scenery with head coach, offensive coordinator. Their O-line is terrible. It is abysmal how bad their O-line is. And that leads to injuries with Burrow, and he's been plagued with them through his career because he just hasn't been able to have time in the pocket to throw, and that's not good. And I'm glad that he wants to stay in Cincinnati. He obviously has good standing in there, especially with the guys that are around him, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Chase Brown, they all love him and they all want him to stay. But I do think a new change of scenery for coaching-wise needs to happen in Cincinnati for Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, all of them to just kind of get back true to form to what they are. And they really need to bolster that offensive line. I mean, defense is also terrible, but I think you really got to protect your franchise quarterback. First and foremost, you need to make sure that he's going to be able to stay healthy, and that comes down to just making sure he has time in the pocket to throw, and he's not always on the move or getting sacked.
Right. Moving on here to the playoff picture. The Broncos and Rams, as of recording this video, are the only teams that have clinched so far.
The Broncos made a statement win against the Packers. They absolutely made a statement win. And New England lost to Buffalo this past week.
They did.
I didn't know if New England was going to win that game or not, to be honest with you. I knew that it was going to be close, and it was a very good game to watch. Final score 35-31 Buffalo. Very fun game to watch. I still think that New England is absolutely a contender for the Super Bowl this season. But I last week, I think we said that we trusted New England more than Denver, and I don't know if I'm 100% agreeing with that anymore. I think that Denver's the better team now. With that being said, I do trust New England's offense a little bit more than Denver's offense, but that Denver defense is just so good. I mean, it is an amazing defense. Not a lot of flaws. I did see, I believe PS2, Pat Surtain, went down. I don't know how long that is for. But come playoff time, fully healthy between the two teams, I think that the Broncos have a very good chance of making the Super Bowl this year if the defense shows up in the playoffs and does what they've been doing all year long. This Denver team is legit. If the offensive inconsistencies can be kinked out before the playoffs, they might be my favorite for the Super Bowl. Now, the Rams on the NFC side, they are also amazing. They have very little flaws. Defense is great. Offense is great. Not much to say negatively about Los Angeles, about the Rams. I mean, they're just so good, so efficient. They can score at will. They can stop you, get takeaways. That's the kind of team that you expect to win a Super Bowl. And I think if we see a Denver-Los Angeles matchup in the Super Bowl, I'll be really happy with that because I think that will be a very, very good Super Bowl to watch. On the AFC side, again, the only other team I really see making the Super Bowl is I got like Denver, New England, Buffalo. Those are my three in the AFC that I really, really think. I think those are the three teams that have the best chance of making the Super Bowl. Yeah. Buffalo, just because this is like, there's no Kansas City. There is no Patrick Mahomes to stop Josh Allen now. And Patrick Mahomes has been Josh Allen's kryptonite ever since Allen came into the league. Now that he doesn't have to worry about that, this is a win now situation for Buffalo. They have to capitalize off of this. And if they can't, I think their Super Bowl window's closed after this season.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you can't count out the one seed in the entire NFL in Denver. You definitely can't. I do think that they have a great shot. My favorites for the AFC, though, is still Buffalo, as I picked last week, just because I do think that they know they have to capitalize. Josh Allen's been there, done that. Bo Nix has been in once. A lot of young talent on that team. We'll just have to see. I personally trust the Bills more than Denver. I'm not saying that Denver definitely cannot go to the Super Bowl. They absolutely can. They absolutely can beat Buffalo. And I mean, they're a good team, but I just trust Buffalo more. As far as New England goes, it's the same thing. I just trust Buffalo more. Yes. I think it'll be great games. I'm really excited for these playoffs.
I think this is the closest the playoffs have been in a while. Just seeing just these teams that are just the NFL is so spread out with talent this season.
Yeah.
Now there is definitely a drop off after the top 20 teams. There's a pretty steep drop off. The bottom 12 are nowhere near as good as the top 18 to 20 teams in the league currently. But those top 18 to 20 teams are all competitive and are all good. And they have been consistently good, obviously, all season. There's a reason a lot of them are in the playoffs or, in the hunt for the playoffs. NFC side, like I said, Los Angeles is probably my favorite to come out of the NFC. I really do like Seattle as well. And I would say Philly. I'm a Washington fan, and I don't really care for Philly at all, right?
Yeah.
But, Philly has not been doing what we thought they were going to do this season.
No. I mean, they're gonna win the NFC East.
Yeah, absolutely. They're winning the East. There's no doubt in my mind about that. But do I really trust them to make another Super Bowl run? No. This team has looked kind of, especially in the last couple of weeks, has looked out of rhythm. Really out of rhythm. There has been no consistency. I mean, this past week, they beat the Raiders, but okay, you beat the Raiders. It's the Raiders. They're 2-11. I would expect, if you didn't beat the Raiders, I would be very upset. I'd find that hilarious.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's just been so odd just seeing Philly this year. They've won a lot of very, very close games. And Hurts throwing the ball hasn't been all that great this season. I mean, I've never personally thought of Hurts as a top 10 passing quarterback in the league. I've never really thought that. I've always thought he's been in the 12 to 15 range. I think he's always been right on that edge. obviously, in the Super Bowl, he has performed very well in the Super Bowls. But, regular season-wise, he hasn't really... He's not there. Even a lot of playoffs games, he's not even that amazing. It's just... It feels like he just coasts until he gets to the Super Bowl, because that's the only game he thinks that matters. And sometimes these regular season and playoff games are what matters, and on whether or not you are going to make the Super Bowl or not, especially playoff games. I just think the Eagles benefit from a very good defense currently. Their offense is not it. Barkley has not had anywhere near close to the season he had last year. Not even close. I don't even know if he has double-digit touchdowns yet. That's the kind of season Philadelphia has been having. So that's why I don't know. There's such a big question mark for me. I wouldn't be surprised if they made it to the Super Bowl again, but I also wouldn't be surprised if they didn't. It's just that big question mark, just especially on the offensive side of the ball.
I could see them being a first-round exit. I could also see them going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Just the type of thing.
It's so odd.
They're streaky. They're a very streaky team.
Offensively,
yeah. And
their defense,
if they can get going, they can get going. But they have to get going now, and they have to carry that momentum into the playoffs.
They are like the NFC's equivalent to the Denver Broncos, where they have a very good defense, but that offense has just so many question marks. And honestly, the biggest up about that offense is A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. Those two have been stellar this season. But it's when they get the ball. You know what I mean? It's just been so odd watching Philadelphia this season. Now, another team, Detroit's not even in the playoffs. But I do think that Detroit will... I think Detroit can still make it, especially with what Green Bay has suffered this season.
Yeah, I think they can sneak in there, for sure.
But they have to win out, and let's see, there's 3 games left, so if they win out, they go 11-6, and they need Green Bay to lose 2 of their next 3 games. Yeah,
it could happen.
It has to happen. Green Bay has to lose 2 of their next 3 games, and Detroit has to win out if they want to make it.
Or Chicago.
Yeah, but I don't think that Chicago, I think, is going to win the division.
I do too. Too. Especially with Micah Parsons being out. Like we were talking about earlier, all those injuries to Green Bay's offense going in to play the Bears. I think the Bears are probably going to win that game. And at that point, I think they clinch the division if they win that game. Because they would move to 11-4.
There's really no other team in the NFC that I 100% trust outside of the Rams.
Yeah.
The Bears have been solid. Their defense is great. Offensive inconsistency. Caleb Williams has had a great bounce-back season from last year. But there's still a lot of issues, especially with completion percentage. He has not had a very good season completion-wise. The Seahawks. I do like the Seahawks a lot. I think that they can make that run. But the issue that I run into is Sam Darnold. Can he perform in the playoffs? He didn't do it last season. His ghosts seem to have come back and haunt him from his Jets and Panthers days. Is that going to happen again? The 49ers. I don't trust them. There's so many injuries going on. All they really got going for them right now is Christian McCaffrey carrying the load for this team. The Buccaneers, I don't trust them at all. They've been having such a weird season. They started off so strong. Baker was an MVP candidate, and now they've lost. I think they were 5-1, and they've lost. A lot. Since then, they've gone 2-6. Carolina, they could win the division. That's just.
I would love that.
Yeah, that's the kind of situation that we're in, though, in the NFC. Is there's so many good teams, but there's only one great team, and that's the team I trust the most. It's just so hard to really tell who is trustworthy in the NFC outside of the Rams, because there's no one really that has A+ on both sides of the ball. There's not.
Yeah. And I really do agree with you. You just can't trust anybody else, and I know it might seem like we're just going with the 1 seed, but They're the 1 seed for a reason.
Absolutely.
Right? And they deserve to be there. And they've made it there because they're good on both sides of the ball. And I think that they're going to continue to be good on both sides of the ball. It's just a team that you can say they're consistent with what they do, and you can't really say that about anybody else in the NFC. You can't look at them and say consistently good on both sides, consistently good on both sides in the NFC, except for the Rams. And that's the reason why we're picking them.
And I mean, honestly, they're probably my favorites to win it all, to be honest with you. I think Stafford gets his second ring here.
Yep.
It's like I said, it's just it's hard to pick against them. It's really hard to. Like, sometimes you want to. And sometimes you really want to, because it's nice to see a change of scenery throughout the season. You know what I mean? It's nice to see a team. Like, when Carolina beat Los Angeles, that was insane. I watched that whole game. I was like, holy cow. Is Carolina legit? And then they lose to the Saints. And I'm like, okay, they got swept by the Saints this season.
Yeah, divisional games are always different, and the other teams, they just prepare so much better for divisional games. So
it's just, it's just Los Angeles is the only team I trust in the NFC. It's the team that I have the most trust in. I don't see another team really beating them, and it's just, I mean, we watched them beat. I think they beat the Lions. Yeah, they beat them 41-34, I believe.
Something like
it was a slugfest, and LA came out on top. And I mean, I don't know. I just really believe that the Rams are going to win everything. I really believe that. I think Stafford's getting MVP this season. I think Drake May maybe will be a close second. And speaking of Drake May, it's crazy to me to think that Tom Brady left in, I think, 2019 from New England. It has only been 5 or 6 years since Brady left, and New England has already found another franchise quarterback. It's insane.
Yeah.
This Drake May could quite literally, if he continues to play that he's been having this season, could be New England's second best quarterback of all time, very easily. And that's just crazy to think about, that it did not take them that long to get somebody, because that 2024 draft was insanely loaded with quarterback talent. In my opinion, that is the second best draft class since that 2004 draft class, with Rivers, Eli, Roethlisberger, all those guys, all those big name guys,
Yeah.
I think that's the second best draft class. You got Jane Daniels, Drake May, Caleb Williams, Bo Nix, J.J. McCarthy, who wasn't great to start the season, has had a very good last 2 games against both Washington and Dallas, which we said that last week that McCarthy might not be the answer. It's maybe looking the other way. Maybe he just needed more time to develop than the other guys. And I mean, this is technically his rookie season. He did not play last season. He got injured in the preseason last year. Yeah. So, just the talent overall. Oh, yeah, and I forgot, Michael Penix Jr. was in that draft class too. That class was great. That was a great draft class for quarterbacks.
It could be another Bryce Young situation where he just needed a lot of time to develop, and when he came into the league, he did not look good.
Well, he looked solid in preseason last year, and we just didn't get to see him in a full season last year. We got to see Sam Darnold step up, and Sam Darnold turned out to be great last year. But it's just kind of insane that it took 5 or 6 years for New England to get another franchise quarterback.
They're there. They got it. And here we go again. We're back on the roller coaster. Let's go.
Another 17 years of torture of New England just being a top team in the AFC again.
Yep, here we go.
At least we're in the NFC.
Yeah, right. You got any hot takes for maybe who can sneak into the playoffs here?
Honestly, the only hot take I have is Carolina and Baltimore. Those are the only two. Because I think, Carolina plays Tampa Bay 2 of their last 3 games. Those games are going to decide who wins this division.
Yeah, because they have the same record, right?
Exactly.
So literally,
that's what's going to decide the division. Baltimore is 7-7. Pittsburgh's 8-6. They do meet again, but Baltimore has to play New England. If they're able to beat New England and beat Pittsburgh, then I think they have Cleveland, maybe? They played Cleveland twice. I can't remember the last team that they played. They played three other teams, though. But I think that Baltimore can definitely sneak into the playoffs and maybe possibly make a run if it's a fully healthy Baltimore team. But, I mean, I don't really 100% see that. I'm saying that because our buddies are Baltimore fans.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think my hottest take is Carolina making the playoffs. I believe that if there is an underdog that's going to have some big story of making the playoffs, it is Carolina. And I think they deserve it because they've just been, ever since Cam Newton left, they have
been terrible.
Absolutely horrendous. And making the playoffs with Bryce Young, who's having a much better season than he's been having, would be an amazing storyline for the Panthers. And I think Bryce Young could definitely be a franchise guy. They just got to build around him properly.
Yeah. I think the future is bright in Carolina, whether they make the playoffs this year or not. I do think that's probably the way to go. I think that Carolina's probably the hottest take. I think that they can sneak in. The Lions, maybe. It just depends on how Green Bay plays. I mean, this NFC can look way different than it does now.
And there were only 3 weeks left in the season.
Exactly. The AFC looks like it's already shaped itself out, and this is how it's going to be. I really don't see Baltimore getting in. I do think Pittsburgh's going to be representing the North, but I would definitely not be upset if Baltimore sneaked in there.
Our Beltway brothers.
Yep. The Colts, they're not. They're just not. It's not going to happen. And maybe I'll be eating my words 3 weeks from now
when they do. Wrong.
When Phillip Rivers goes to the Super Bowl and makes the playoffs, and then we're like, okay, there's no way that this guy's actually gonna, and he goes and wins the Super Bowl. That would be insane.
Phillip Rivers has been secretly practicing with the Colts for 5 years just for this.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's just the type of stuff that would have to. I mean, I know we're joking. It's fun. It is what it is. But that's actually what would have to happen. And it's just
Indy has to win out. They have to win out. But the issue is they have Jacksonville and Houston in the same division.
Yeah, they play San Francisco next. They're a good team.
They have San Francisco, then I believe Jacksonville, then Houston. I don't think they're winning any of those games. To be frank,
I don't think so either. They might finish under 500 here.
I definitely think they're going to.
Yeah. So the Ravens might sneak in. The Lions and Panthers might sneak in. Dallas isn't. I think Dallas is probably going to be eliminated in the next week or two.
No, if they win, if they win, they're playoff chances are 2%. If they win,
Dallas is not getting in there.
The NFC. If Green Bay wins this game against Chicago next week, there's a very good chance they make the playoffs. 49ers and Seahawks are pretty much locked in.
Yeah,
and Philadelphia are locked in. We have probably about 4 teams locked into the NFC race. Tampa, Chicago, Detroit, Green Bay, Carolina. It is all a toss-up.
Yeah.
Actually, I think Chicago makes it. I don't know.
The North and South are toss-ups. The East and the West seem like that has been decided already. So, yeah. I mean, let us know what you guys think, and if you guys got any hot takes, let us know.
Any hot takes, let us know. Let us know if we missed anything, any major news that we missed. Again, we thank you guys for watching. If you made it to the end of this video, hit the subscribe button and then click the bell so that you are notified for any new videos. We've got TikTok, Instagram, and Twitch. We do have some future things that we're planning on Twitch. If you want to drop a follow there, be ahead of the game, we'd really appreciate it. But we thank you guys for watching us as the LTA Sportscast, and we will see you in the next episode.